Hello, everybody. It's Five for Talking. I'm here with Caps. Look at him. He's there. It's the off season. Are you there? Hockey. There's no off season. Off seasons are for suckers. Anyways, Mr. T, sorry.
It's all right.
He's my spirit animal.
Is it?
Yeah.
Let's start this off, man.
All right. So I'm going to jump into this. You guys said you had a question to ask, so I'm going to make you ask that question at some point. There was a bunch of signings and stuff recently, and there's one specifically that I want to talk to you about. All right?
Mm-hmm.
It involves a character by the name of Alex Galchenyuk going to the Senators for 1 year, $1 million. I know it's not a lot of money, and I know he's still kind of young, so it's not that much of a risk, but why?
Does it make Ottawa better?
I don't know. It's kind
This
of a
is
ladder.
like how? Sorry, what did you say? How old is he?
I can look that up actually. He's not old. He's probably like 26.
Like, let's 25, 26, right? And this has to be like what? His 15 in like 5 years. What? I don't know. What's he trying to accomplish?
I don't know why I found that so funny, but like, yeah, that's like, I mean, let's see here. So he played on the Canadiens for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 years. Then he went to the Coyotes, the Penguins, and the Wild.
So how old is he?
He is 26.
Okay, I mean, does he have a bad reputation amongst the teams, or is he?
I don't know.
Like
I
I
don't
don't understand what his purpose is or what he's trying to accomplish by moving around like this. Like, he needs to establish himself with a team so that he can, develop and get better. Like, I don't know if he's. I don't think he's able to develop himself by moving around like that, as a player and as a teammate. I just don't see that happening. So I really don't know what he's trying to accomplish. But at the same time, does it make Ottawa better? I think so.
I guess he's going to probably play on the third or fourth line, so it's not a big deal, really.
They have some open spots. I'm going to assume on that team that they have some open spots, and that he's going to fit in. And I think it makes them a little bit better in the long run.
This is something I got to say about Ottawa. They made a lot of good moves. They overpaid a few people, but I think at the end of the day, I've said it 100 times now, I think Ottawa made good moves. I like what they did. I think they have talent.
Yes,
but I think they have too much talent now, and their growth will stop here because this year is going to be. You're going to be seeing Ottawa fighting for a playoff spot in the East, and they're not going to get a high draft pick. I mean,
but at the end of the day, with all the moves that they made, does not make them a cup contender. So
no, it doesn't. But that's my point. You're pushing yourself even farther away from that now because you're not going to get a good draft pick next year, probably.
Oh, maybe they'll pick up another Galchenyuk type player next year. Like, you know what I mean?
Great. Anyways, I think this move is solely work. I need to work. $1 million is not like $1 million is a lot of money. Like, to play hockey, I'll take that.
I'll take it as well.
That's what I'm saying. So
I'm not sure if I'll take it to go play in Ottawa, but that's just me.
I mean, I wouldn't take it to go live in Ottawa, but I'd take it to play there. Yeah, I don't know. It's a weird move for me. Also, another weird move. I don't even know if you're going to know about this. Some people probably wouldn't. The Islanders re-signed Josh Hosang. Do you know who that is?
That's my knowledge.
Okay, so he's a young guy that has had a lot of potential. They drafted him a little bit later, and he's just been middling around on this team. He's like a terrible teammate. He thought he was the next Gretzky. He was tweeting all kinds of nonsense, and he's been there for like 6 years, and he's never got a real shot to play. But for some reason, the Islanders just keep giving him more chances, and I don't get it. Like, he did get signed to like a minimum two-way contract, a 1 year, but it's still like, I know you have the full roster spots, but it's just weird that after all the trouble this guy's giving you, you're still giving him money.
Doesn't that team have cap issues at this point?
I don't think so yet, but they obviously don't have an abundance of cap. I think their cap situation now is, I have like $3 million. Like, I could sign somebody, but I'm gonna have to re-sign people. Like, I'm sure they're gonna. I don't know how much they gave Barzal, but you're gonna have to pay him.
Mm-hmm.
On
I just feel as though they do have some cap issues, and I feel like they're not going to be able to sign one of those big time players.
No.
So they'll probably have to make a trade, but signing what's his name? Jose? I guess it's just a depth player for that team, just in case.
I mean, you never know. Maybe he's going to get tossed into some kind of a trade.
Yeah.
So Trevor Daley retired. I didn't even know that. Wow, that's news to me. This is one I wanted to talk about. The Sabres signed Reinhart to a $5.2 million 1-year deal.
I don't know where they have the money to do that.
I just don't see it. I mean, I know he was a pretty high draft pick, and he's played okay. $5.2 million is a lot. And
it's a lot.
When you do that, you set the bar where now all the other, like, all the other Andreas Johanssons in the league are like, oh, I'm worth $5.2 million too, because that guy got it. I'm just as good as him. And that's like, I hate that. I hate that. That's a bad signing. You're setting a precedent for nonsense for the future. I don't see what he brings to you that he's worth $5.2 million.
Wasn't that the case when they signed when Elise signed Marner to that crazy contract, and everybody thought that Brendan Point was going to get the same type of money?
Yeah, and well, some people have like heart and like.
And I think that same year, Kachuk wasn't even signed too.
Playing on a team means something to some people.
Yeah. Well, let's not get sidetracked. It's okay.
Sidetracked a little here. You had a question.
Actually, another one just popped in my head. So the GMs had a meeting not so long ago, and they're looking at the first week of February for the start of the season. I thought Gary Bettman was going to be looking in January, but I guess they need a little more time to plan because of what's going on in the world. So I just want to get your thoughts on that.
I understand. This is exactly like when we first had the conversation when the NHL was going to come back the first time. I understand, but I don't care. Yeah. If I'm the NHL, Christmas Day, there's games. That's when the season starts, literally on Christmas Day or on Boxing Day. But Americans, that's like Canadian Black Friday. It's the day after Christmas. That's when I'm
see it happening on Christmas Day, though.
I know it's not going to happen. I'm saying if you were giving me the option, like when would you do it? That's when I would do it.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's not going to happen. I'd be more accepting of mid-January. I'd be okay with that. But February seems too far. You're basically giving them a full off season. But what that does is now you've put yourself in a position where even if everything corrects itself, like at the end of next season, if the whole world is okay again, at the end of next season, you're already not starting in October again. You're already going to start in December.
So it's my understanding that it's only going to be a 40-game season.
Okay, what I heard is, I think 590, they were talking about 72 games, which is what the NBA wants to do. And then I heard 68 games on, I don't remember what. There's no way they're doing 40.
It's going to be interesting, man. It's going to be definitely interesting. I just want to know how it's going to work when teams have to go from Canada to the U.S. Oh, that's another thing too. They're thinking about making an all-Canadian division.
Oh, okay, good. This is can we talk about this?
Of course, we can talk about this.
This is what I want to talk about. So I was talking with someone at work, and there was a very credible site, and I'm not going to name names because I'm not going to throw anyone under the bus. But if you actually watch this, you're going to know it was you. They said if it was an all Canadian division, the Leafs are head and shoulders better than any other Canadian team. I don't care whether that's true or not. Their exact words were they would go 8-0 against Montreal and 8-0 against Winnipeg and 8-0 against Ottawa. And I promise you, if they played 10 games against Montreal, they would go 5-5. I promise you.
Yeah, those games are going to be hard fought. I mean, I'm looking back at some of the moves that Montreal made, and I think Bergeron, I can't remember, Bergevin was very strategic in his moves, and I think he definitely made his team a lot better. I think they're going to be more competitive, and I think when they meet the Leafs, I think those games are going to. There's not going to be a clear, decisive winner. Like I just don't see it. I don't see you saying Toronto's going to take all 8 if they meet 8 times.
Okay, get out of here. So
no, I just don't see it, and that's going to be the same way for Edmonton. It's going to be the same way for Calgary. It's going to be the same thing for Vancouver, who, in my opinion, have taken a bit of a step back. I'm sorry, that's just my opinion.
I agree with you,
but they're still good.
Yeah. So let's just jump into some more. Let's stay with this actually because this is very nice. Edmonton is better than the Leafs. Edmonton are better than the Leafs.
But that's what I'm saying. Like it can go either way.
Connor McDavid
go either way.
I agree, but just having Connor, like, forget about Draisaitl, who's better than anyone on the Leafs as well. Connor McDavid is the best player in hockey.
I'm not going to argue that.
That already gives you an advantage, right? It's like having, like, sorry for the comparison, but it's like being in the 80s and you had Gretzky on your team.
Yeah, but at the same time,
had Yager.
But at the end of it, it's like who's got the better team, right?
I agree,
and I think all of them have great teams, except for Ottawa. Sorry.
Okay, so for me, that's where we'll keep going with this. Like what you said about Montreal, I don't think they got that much better. I think that they changed their team completely, and a lot of people are saying that the specific words from this person were Montreal clearly doesn't know how to build a team, and I'm not going to say that this is they are absolutely not a Stanley Cup winning team. If you ask me about Montreal's moves, they didn't get better, but they changed. They are now a Columbus team.
I would agree with that.
There are no star. Every line is all grit and a goal scorer. That's every single line on that team. And it makes and I understand what you did, because when you face teams like the Leafs that can't grit back at you, you beat them. And you're gonna win a lot of games. They're a team that might not beat you, but they are gonna beat you, if you understand what I mean. Like,
yeah. Remember what they did in the playoffs. Nobody thought that they were going to go deep into the playoffs. Nobody thought that they were going to beat Pittsburgh, and did they not beat Pittsburgh?
Yeah, and this team is much tougher.
Exactly.
Than that.
Exactly.
And not to mention, they did get a 10th overall pick.
Yes, but the other thing is that they are well coached.
Yeah, and
Julian is their coach.
They have a legit backup goalie now. Like they have a starting goalie as a backup goalie.
And if you're gonna get the Carey Price that's motivated and wants to play, that's a dangerous in
a team that's built
combination
that seemingly is now built around neutral zone and defensive ability and goaltending. You're almost looking at 90s New Jersey Devils.
Yeah,
in that team. Yeah. No stars. All and I'm accepting of that. Ottawa is going to be an insane, fast-paced, I don't care about anything, like we have nothing to prove, we're just going to go out there and fight team.
Yeah.
Winnipeg is still Winnipeg. Like, I don't care. They're not as strong as they used to be, but they bring skill and toughness.
I honestly think that if they lose Liney, I think they're going to be I don't think they're going to be the best out of the bunch.
I agree. I already don't
And
think they're the best.
they already lost a player for a full season next year. I can't remember who it is.
I don't even know what you're
Um,
talking about. So,
yeah, he's injured, and
and they
he's
don't have
and,
Bufflin.
and they don't have Bufflin, but this particular player is injured, and they're recommending him not to play next year. So he's actually going to miss a full season next year. And if I can't remember why I can't remember their goalie,
Oh, Hellebuck?
Hellebuck. If the Hellebuck does not show up, that just steals games for Winnipeg. They're in trouble.
Well, this person that wrote this did say that they are a team that is goalie forward. So their whole team is just like banking on how he plays,
Exactly.
which I get. So moving more down, I think Edmonton got better. I think those trades, Edmonton is a better team. Um, they're tougher, they're faster, they're better defensively, they have better goaltending. Maybe ever since Connor McDavid's been there, they have goaltending. In my opinion, though, Calgary and Vancouver got a lot weaker. Calgary lost all kinds of little pieces, plus they lost Brody. Who's in net in Calgary?
Markstrom.
Oh yeah, that's right. They got Markstrom.
Exactly. They needed
But
a
I still
goalie,
don't.
and they got him.
Top line, forward defense, and the goalie. I think that's a powerhouse in Calgary, but I don't think they bring anything else after that. And that all Vancouver did in this offseason was lose from their core, and they didn't get any better. They only got worse.
But that team is going to develop. They're going to
I
keep
do
developing.
think the raw talent there, the potential on that team is insane.
Yeah,
But they might not even be a playoff team next year.
I disagree with that, and that's just my opinion.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, you
Uh,
understand that they got worse, and at least you're agreeing with me on
but
that.
I still think they're going to be okay. Brian Little is going to be gone next year for the Winnipeg Jets. He's going to be, I believe he's going to
That's who it is.
be.
I mean, he's not a huge, but he's important.
He's very important for that
If they
team,
don't get
for the
Line
depth.
back, if Line doesn't come back, which I don't think he's coming back, they're gonna struggle.
Yeah, they're going to struggle. Yeah, I mean, so do you think they're going to have a all Canadian division next year or what?
No,
Based on what's happening?
I think it's going to be all the teams playing in Canada. Is what I think. They're going to create 4 bubbles and just have 4 divisions. And
Okay.
Those teams will play close to each other. So the Eastern Conference will play, one division will play in Toronto, one will play in like Ottawa, and then the West will play one in Calgary, one in Edmonton, and then they'll play all of their individual games against each other, and then they will cross over, but they'll never face the other conference. So East and West will never play each other for the whole season.
Yeah, I don't know if those American teams want to come up here for 4 months.
I mean, it's kind of like
That's going to be tough.
It's kind of no option, right?
I don't
We've
know.
seen what happens when you travel. Okay, NBA bubbled, no issue. NHL bubbled, no issue. NFL has been traveling. There's a COVID case every single week. It's NFL is the biggest joke of handling this situation. It's crazy, but baseball too. Baseball's finding the team's like family members are having COVID, and it's like I brought my wife with me. Yeah, and guess what? Your wife has COVID, buddy. Thanks for bringing her.
I was going to delve into the World Series and how I think that pitcher.
Oh, I know who you're talking about.
Didn't he get it? And then he was like, they didn't want,
they got the test mid-game. He had it. They took him out of the game, and then when they won the World Series, he came running back out and took his mask off. You just it's not.
That's putting everybody at risk.
Okay,
man.
Everyone at risk. Yeah. Okay, but what if one of them dies? Are you not technically responsible for the death of this person now? Because
exactly.
You needed to do that. Like, I understand you wanted to celebrate, but you could have celebrated with them and just not took off your mask and stood in the middle of the pile. Like, you could have just been out there.
Yeah. I don't want to dive into that too much, but it's a sketchy
It's stupid.
thing, man.
He should be heavily reprimanded, like heavily, like a 60-game suspension, fines, everything. That is just stupid. It's not even that what he did is so bad. It's just that you're literally an idiot. Why would you do that?
It's reckless. It's
Yeah,
reckless on his part.
exactly.
He's
It's
putting
reckless.
he's putting a lot of people in danger. He's putting a lot of people's lives in
Technically
danger.
manslaughter because you potentially could kill somebody.
So the first time we ever brought up baseball up to that extent,
Like that, yeah. Not the first time though.
and basketball in the same conversation, and football.
We actually talked a lot about basketball this year, especially with the bubble, and I just think that I feel like the NHL is going to plan it right.
I hope so. I really don't want to see games being canceled and rescheduled and all that
Yeah,
stuff.
that's so much nonsense.
It's just horrible. And
Okay, the NFL is like a
seeing
constant
players
cycle.
seeing key players missing games because of this. I don't want to see that happening. And
Yeah, I agree.
you know,
I
one
think
more
it's
thing, I want to bring up your hat.
Oh yeah,
And,
I want to talk about that
apparently,
too.
the captain didn't even know that they were in a rebuilding stage, and he was pretty pissed off about it.
So we did touch on this a bit in the last episode with Bargo, but I don't think anybody was listening to me. The four of them were very upset about the Brendan Saad and like whatever. Forget about it. But they don't like the idea of rebuilding when they're all in their prime. Which Brent Seabrook, you're not even. Brent Seabrook is in a place with Jay Bomeister right now, where you're a playable defenseman, but you bring nothing to my team.
I didn't even realize Jay Bomeister was still playing.
Yeah, exactly.
And
but
he's on St. Louis, right?
Jay Bomeister is what Brent Seabrook is now 5 years ago, and is still somehow playing in the league, absolutely contributing nothing. Like
crazy.
But yeah, Seabrook, you're not bringing anything. Duncan Keith is a serviceable defenseman at this point, but he's no longer even maybe even a top two pairing. Jonathan Toews is a great leader. He could fit in on a team, but he needs to be on a contender that's already loaded. He doesn't have offensive ability anymore. He will win you faceoffs and he will lead your team. Kane is still like at the top of his game.
No.
But he is always an injury risk. So when you look at these four combined, you're stuck with these guys for what, 3 more seasons, and none of them want to leave Chicago. They all want to stay. So unless they start taking huge pay cuts, there's no way that they're rebuilding here. I honestly see in a sign and contract, like we'll keep some contract at the trade deadline, Keith and Toews are both gone.
Do they have no trade clauses?
I think Kane does.
Kane does. You know what the funny thing is? Like they're both making $10 million a year each. I don't know who's going to be able to take on those contracts.
That's what I'm saying. So
like the cap is like hasn't gone up, and everybody is pretty much at the at their right at the end of the cap of how much they can spend.
We'll take a team like the Rangers that probably has about 5 million cap space, maybe 6.
Okay.
But
they wouldn't be able to take on a 10. They wouldn't be able to take on a $10 million contract.
You're in a playoff push.
Yeah.
You do a trade with Chicago where you give up your next 2 years in a row of first-round picks and a prospect for Toews, and they retain half the contract, so $5 million.
If they can talk them into it.
But that's what I'm saying. The only way you're moving those guys, and Kane is not going to be the one who leaves, and Seabrook is not worth anything. So your trade is gonna be Keith or Taves or both this year at the trade deadline are going to get moved on retainers. And then the other team is probably going to cut them at the end of the season, is what I see.
That's crazy.
And then they'll be up for re-sign, and then maybe they'll go back to Chicago on like $1 million contracts or something. It's like, you don't think about it as a player, right? You're $10 million. We're winning the cup. This is amazing. And then when you're at when you still have 3 years left on your contract and your team it has no goal, ambition of winning, and you can't contribute like you used to. Taves and Kane cannot carry a team anymore. If you put Kane on a line with Malkin or Crosby, oh my gosh. Like,
that's crazy.
Those guys are players like a Yager or even a Thornton that I know he doesn't contribute anymore, but even like late in his career, he still was able to have skill. Taves was never that player, really, even in his prime. So, like, you would never compare Taves to like a Malkin in his prime. Absolutely not. What he brings is special, but it's different.
It's different.
Right?
I had 2 more questions. I don't know if you had any, but next season, who do you think is going to be the worst team
In the NHL? I don't know why I said it like that.
You got nervous, man. It's okay.
Honestly, okay. I'll do both conferences. It's Arizona is gonna crash. Even Chicago.
Really?
I see Arizona next year not having Hall, not have done anything in the offseason, potentially losing Ekman Larson. They're gonna be. I just see it as like, oh my gosh, I was not expecting this crash. And then in the East, I still say it's going to be Detroit. I think Detroit's going to be the worst team in the league again.
Mm-hmm.
But I can see a scenario where Buffalo f's it up and just look at all the money we spent. Oh my God, last place. Taylor Hall, season-ending injury. Jack Eichel, season-ending injury. Buffalo has the worst luck.
I see Minnesota and I see LA just still crashing.
Those are both fair.
I just don't see LA coming back.
If I'm being realistic, LA is the worst team in the West. But I just have like this, like, I feel like there's going to be in both divisions or in both conferences, there's going to be a team that you thought wouldn't be there and is going to be at the bottom. Yeah. But like realistically, I still think Detroit is the worst team in the NHL.
I think Detroit is going to be a little bit better next year.
I think they did get better, but
I think they got better. But I think Yzerman is going to plan and take his time like he did with Tampa, and I think you're going to see a resurgence of the late 90s Detroit Red Wings very, very soon.
Okay. I can live with that.
Yeah, but next year I still think I don't think Minnesota was really done anything.
So coming off they're not very good right now. Coming off
but I'm still surprised Dumba is still on that team.
I don't know what your take is or what your next question was going to be, but I'll just spit this one out. Who do you think is going to be the best team in each conference?
I think Colorado is still going to get better in the West. I still think Colorado's going to.
I agree. Colorado's going to be the best team, I think.
I still think that they should have made it to the finals this year, but.
And
it is what it is.
I think Tampa repeats as the best Eastern team. I don't even know if they were actually last year, but.
The East, wow. Yeah, I think Tampa is gonna still be up there. I think Boston takes a dip.
I do too. Like I said, I think they lost things, and I think they got older. That's the only thing that happened in Boston.
Yeah, I think Boston takes a dip, and I think Tampa keeps moving up. But we'll see.
Tampa really realistically only lost like Bogosian and Shattenkirk at this point. but they still have people that they gotta sign. What was your last question that you had?
What do you think of the Dallas Stars jersey?
I wanted to say that I forgot. I don't like it at all.
Really, you don't?
I don't. You want to know why? It's not even that I think
Of course, I want to know why.
it's not even that it's ugly. I kind of like the design and I don't mind the colors, but it just looks like a stupid team that you face in NHL, EA Sports NHL, and you beat them for the whole game, and then in the last minute they score 5 goals and beat you. That's what that jersey reminds me of. One of those teams, and I hate it.
It's a weird analogy.
I know, but
okay.
it's just like Bargo would say the same thing. I promise you. The all black with just a neon color on it is just so NHL. When I saw that, I honestly thought it was a computer graphic picture. I didn't even realize it was a real guy, and I thought it was an ad for NHL for new jerseys they were releasing in NHL. And then I realized, oh no, this is from Dallas's Twitter. Like, oh crap!
I think it's going to be a cool effect, like it glows in the dark, right?
I don't know, but it looks like it does.
Yeah. So I think it's going to be cool when they do their introductions and their entrances into the ice and the lighting. I feel like it's going to be a bit hard on the eyes for people that are going to be sitting in the crowd and stuff, because I think, but I think they're okay. I think they're pretty cool. You know.
I mean, okay, they're not the worst jerseys we've ever seen. Watch our videos coming out soon. But they
Surprised you haven't released those yet, man.
Well, I'm sitting on those babies.
Oh, really? Okay.
Those babies are good. Those are my keepers. We're gonna release a whole line of jersey episodes. There's gonna be so many jersey episodes you're not gonna know what to do with them.
Can't wait.
Yeah. Friggin' wait.
Can't wait.
Anyways, that's the end of this episode. Thank you for watching. Like, comment, subscribe.
Not even one shot during this episode. I can't believe it.
I know, but I don't have a hat to spin.
Exactly. Oh, there it is. Shot.
I don't
Subscribe.
have anything to drink. Okay, bye.